So what we're about to do is make the hoof, come back up around, and do a loop and create the other hoof, leg and hoof on the back side. Then we'll do the tail and come forward and do the underbelly and the front legs, and we'll be done. So this is where we were at. We're about to create the hoof at this level. You always just want to make sure that you have something that's kind of realistic to the natural size of the natural proportions of the animal, and I usually just guess at that. To create the hoof, I did a left angle, or a right angle, so to speak, going in that direction. Now I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to come down one more time to create an indentation, and then I'm going to take this part of the wire pliers, the fattest part of the needle, put it right here, and I'm going to just come backwards with it. I'm not bending it with the plier, I'm bent it with my hand, and I've created a hoof. Now I'll subject this part right here and pull the wire back up through here, and you can see that I have a hoof shape like that. And so now I just have to create a thigh, and I have done that just by bending it a little bit. What I'm going to do at this point is cross over the top, and I'm going to create another leg. Just doing a silhouette of what I'd already done. So I get to this point, and what I'm going to do there is, create in the exact same section this muscle tone, or whatever it is in the horse's body that creates that tone. And then I'm going to bend it down that way also, and you can see where I've created a second leg. Now, one of the things I find that I need to do sometimes is to subject things, and so what I do in order to make that happen is I just cut off a little piece of wire that I won't need later on, and I tie up a certain section of the sculpture so that it won't be moving around by itself. Just make sure that I have it exactly the way I want it to be. I'm going to come here and I'm going to tie it, subjecting it, just keeping it immobile, unable to move around. Okay, so now I can continue with the rest of my horse leg, and basically I'm going to follow the same thing that I did earlier, which was to, at the same spot on the wire, make an angle this way, then an angle downward, and then at the fattest point of the needle I'm going to do a full circle. Alright, there you have the second leg, and once again I subject this and I pull this upward to create the hoof look. And there it is, two hooves that are basically the same size. So I come up from behind with this leg. I have all this extra wire, it gets in the way constantly, it's a bother, but you know what, you can't do much but deal with it because you have to have it there. When you get to a certain point in your structure, you can decide that you may not need all of it and you can cut part of it off, but usually you want to make sure that you have enough wire. So you can see we have it on that side now, so I can just pull upward and create the second back leg just by doing that. When we come back in the next video, we'll tie that off, we'll create the underbelly, and we'll create the front legs, and hopefully we can do this in 3 sections.